So it's knees day. Love your knees. And mine are very near and dear to my heart. For all of you that personally know me, you'll know why. And for those of you that don't, you'll see why. So as a young girl, I think it was like 8 or 9, maybe even 10. I don't know. It could have been 9 or 10. My knees started dislocating, and very painful. That's a very painful thing. And especially for a little girl to endure. So instead of doing physical therapy, which most doctors now would do, I lived, I guess, like in a barbaric place with my doctor. And even though he was nice, his exams were excruciating. And they don't do that now. It's all become a mental thing for me, because he would sit there with my little leg laying out there on the, you know, where you sit when someone's examining you. I can't even think of the name of it. It's a menopause symptom that you can't remember nouns. Anyway, and he would try to push my knee out of the socket. And it really left a huge impression on me, and a bad one at that. So for years later, as I was experiencing pain and so forth, well into my 30s, I was afraid to go back to the doctor because of that whole experience. And thankfully, I found a wonderful doctor, and I can't remember, but he was a physical therapist for the Miami Dolphins, and I can't remember who exactly he worked on, but Jerry was all excited that this doctor was going to work on me. So I've had 4 knee surgeries, 3 on my left leg and 1 on my right leg. And I'm going to show you my left leg first. I don't know if you can see it or not. There we go. My knees don't look like normal knees. Let me get a good picture. I'm still in my jammies. Can't get it good. They just don't look like normal knees. On the top part of the knee, anyway. And I've got... Hang on, let me see if I can hold this better. Okay. They look like railroad... It looks like railroad tracks. I can see it good. This is not hard. It's very easy to maneuver. But I have this scar that goes this way. They took a piece of bone out because they said that my knee or my leg was going crooked. Now, who knows if it was really going crooked or not. But anyway, they took a piece of bone out and put 2 staples over here. This one, I've had one surgery that went to here, and then another one from here all the way up to here. And I actually, you see that blue spot? That is still a stitch in there. I have one there, and I have one somewhere over in here. And the doctor said, oh, we can, when I went in at the age of, I think, 33, we can just pull that right out. And I'm like, you know what? It's been with me this long. I had the surgeries when I was 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to keep it. I don't want anybody digging out around in my knee. And Coach Phil actually said that the deposit of... I'm going to stand up and see. Hold on, if I can get it better. Get the whole jammy view. This whole deposit of fat over here, or whatever it is a buildup of something. And if I do squats, I can get rid of that all. So, that's that. This one, same thing, same deposit, but not quite as bad. I only have had 1 surgery there, and it goes from, I think, up here, right here. No, here actually. Goes down. And the reason they're so bad is they didn't do the surgery. They don't do the surgeries now like they did back then. I would have my surgery the first week of summer, and I would be in a full cast, and my leg would hurt so bad after the surgery because it was swelling like a loaf of bread. When they would cut the cast, it would just poof up. So my scars became huge. And I was in a wheelchair from June until August, like the last 2 weeks of August, and then on crutches for 2 weeks, and then would go back to school. And I did that for 3 summers in a row. And then after my 3rd surgery, I went in for surgery in September, like 2 weeks after I was off crutches, went in for surgery in September and was homeschooled from September to December. That was my 13th birthday year, I think. And had the same thing, had my surgery. I think that's when they removed part of the bone. And was laid up, couldn't walk around. They get you up and moving now. And they just do, the surgeries they do are like little holes, not anything like this. But my doctor had told me never to work on hard floors, like cement floors, to do something like a secretary or something like that, because I wouldn't be able to run, I wouldn't be able to do anything. So I recently, with Coach Phil, have been able to run. And I know that I still have in my head that that's not the best impact for me with my knees, and I'm very wary of it because I've had so many issues, but I can run. I can ride a bike. I can do squats. The first time I talked to Coach Phil, I told him I cannot do squats and I cannot run. And he listened. He listened to me. You know, like we're talking about the listening. He listened to me, and he was very sympathetic or empathetic, whatever, of me, and I felt that, and it felt good. And then he said to me, the first things we need to do are squats, and you need to run. And I'm like, didn't you just hear me? I can't do those things. But his belief in me, and ultimately my belief in myself, have put me to the point where I can do squats without the aid of a chair or the aid of anything. And I'm hoping to break down those fatty things or whatever that is on the side of my knee. So love your knees. Show them some kindness. My grandmother, through all my surgeries, used to rub my knees, and they were bright red, the scars, for a long time, and she would tell me how beautiful my knees are. And because of her and my mom doing the same thing, you get choked up. Oh, it's very, very touching to me. I never felt any sort of, I feel sorry for myself as a person, as the kids would play and run around outside, and I couldn't do that with them. I had a few close friends that would come over to visit and would visit me in the hospital. And I'm going into the ugly cry. How lovely. They would push me around in my wheelchair. You know, they would play, they would have fun. And I'm going to name their names. Gay Golden, Stephen Frenier, and Dennis Bouvier. Those three, Joyce Burl, tail end Joyce Burl. In fact, Joyce wasn't there during my surgery, but she was there through a lot of other stuff to do with them. Those three people were over every summer to be with me, and I didn't really understand I looked forward to them coming, but didn't really understand how deep that was for me, or how that would affect me as a person, until, of course, later in life. And their kindness means more to me than I can even say. So thank you. Thank you for that, the three of you. Really very important to me. So when I see somebody feeling sorry for themselves, over something, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it because I wasn't ever given that opportunity to do that. And my knees have been wonderful for me, and I plan on using them to the fullest and getting the most joy out of doing the things I love to do with them, like hiking and walking and doing squats.